that much spacing. You know why? They don't have many three-point shooters. Like that! Like that! Laces one up on the Lakers, and the Blazers now lead by 3.
Welcome our TNT audience from across the hall in Studio J. This is Studio B, and this is Playoff Central Live on NBA TV. I'm Kristen Ledlow, joined by our NBA champion, Caron Butler. Caron, what did we just witness down the stretch from Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers?
Well, I would first like to say that we witnessed some great defense, by Hassan Whiteside, deflecting and getting the blocks down the stretch. But offensively, what we witnessed was just a ton of shot making, in clutch moments. And I think that Dame and Trent Jr. and clearly Carmelo Anthony was ready for the moment. And look, they battle tested, they seasoned, and came up huge in the clutch.
You're exactly right. Speaking of Damian Lillard, Carmelo Anthony, Gary Trent Jr., take a look at this back to back to back, all in the fourth quarter here. And Caron, this is a team that seemed to be struggling as far as shot making went prior to these final moments.
Yeah, look, you think about the final moments, they were struggling. And this was a low-scoring game at the bottom of the fourth, still in the 80s, kind of like when we played. But look, they picked it up, and Logo Dame, knocking down shots from literally the logo. And, I think that Carmelo was waiting for that moment to just, watch them suck in on Dame. They helped a little bit too much. AD, slow rotation, and then Trent Jr., he did a remarkable job at, just stepping into his shot and not second-guessing that moment.
Jared Greenberg, after the game, talking to Damian Lillard about what he said back on his 30th birthday in July, saying, if I'm going to be here, I'm not going to waste my time. And he certainly hasn't. Caron, how can you quantify what he has meant to this team since the season restart?
Man, his mindset and his disposition was just different. Look, we saw that he was a little hobbled during the All-Star break. And once he had came back from that, like you said, he had a ton of time, during the midst of the COVID, 4.5 months, 5 months roughly, to get back into the groove of things when you talk about basketball standpoint, into the rhythm and flow. And C.J. McCollum, all those guys, they all bought in. And I remember that Chris Haynes we had an opportunity to interview Chris Haynes, and he had said, you know what, the disposition of the Portland Trailblazers, they're not just coming to participate in a play-in tournament or anything like that. They feel like they can realistically win a championship.
C.J. McCollum added 21 points to your point. What is he going to have to be for this team in order for them to continue advancing through this series?
You know what? Me and Dwayne was going back and forth, and I told D-Wade that if C.J. is capable of scoring 20 to 27 points on a consistency every night, it poses a threat, because when you help on Dame and shift on him, CJ is more than capable of knocking down outside shots and then going. He's more than beyond a 1-1,000, 2-1,000 player, where he can create opportunities for himself and others, and he puts a lot of stress on the defense of the Los Angeles Lakers, which he can get into the teeth and the bulk of the defense. He gets into the paint, all that attention comes, and then he's able to kick it out to available shooters.
And you mentioned Hassan Whiteside defensively, but the Lakers also shot just above 15% from three. And Caron, that just won't win a playoff game.
It's been the tale of the tape ever since the new season pretty much started. Ever since the Lakers been inside of the bubble, they have struggled to regain momentum. And I think one of their best shooting nights was probably 28% from three inside of the bubble. So when you have that type of poor shooting in a low-scoring game, it's probably going to favor the playmakers. And in this case, that's the Portland Trailblazers.
But from LeBron James, we saw yet another triple-double in a playoff game with 23 points, 17 rebounds, and 16 assists. Again, difficult to sum up what he means to the Lakers as an offensive facilitator, as an offensive scorer, but what's the balance between those two things?
Well, I think the big thing for him is he went above and beyond to really get Anthony Davis engaged, but he has to do so much for others. When you talk about the playmaking for Morris and Kyle Kuzma and, Caruso as well, I think that he's trying to set the stage and still, try to carry the workload down the stretch. But that's why guys like Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith and others was brought to the club. They need that playmaking ability out there on the basketball court, and don't be surprised if Vogel make that proper adjustment to throw those guys in. Oh, yeah, playoff Rondo is just about ready to be activated as well.
That's right. This is, though, the second time that LeBron has lost Game 1 of the first round in the playoffs. What else do you need to see from Anthony Davis? Because we've talked about this team's success rising and falling on those two.
Yeah, he has to continue to be aggressive and efficient. You know, it's one thing to score the basketball, but you need him to be really dialed into going to the paint, demanding the ball, drawing double teams, and being a presence on the defensive end of the floor. We know that the key blocks and key stops came from Nurkic and Whiteside down the stretch for the Portland Trailblazers, and you're going to need that type of effort from Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee as collectives to protect that paint, because this was a low-scoring ball game, should have favored the Lakers at some point, but Dame came up huge down the stretch along with Carmelo Anthony, and it tipped in their favor.
2003, the last time that both 8 seeds won Game 1 in their first round playoff series, and we had the opportunity to see it yet again 17 seasons later. Now, the Portland Trailblazers take the 1-0 lead
over
the LA Lakers. Here's Coach Stotts.
First question is coming from Dan Wicke with the Los Angeles Times.
Harry, I think it was after the Memphis game that you kind of joked about your defense and had to pull down your mask to show that you were laughing. Yeah, like that. What do you credit the turnaround to tonight?
Well, honestly, the Lakers didn't shoot the three well. It seems like we've been a little snake bit by how well teams have shot the three against us. You know, our analytics say that we're doing a good job of contesting, and the teams have been making threes. So, obviously tonight the three-point line made a difference. But I liked our physicality defensively. We played a big lineup a lot, and I thought that worked well for us. But you know, I think more than anything else is we were really locked in on trying to take away some of the things that we had talked about pregame.
Next question is coming from Jason Quick with The Athletic.
Coach, how would you describe what Hassan did tonight for you? And then also, what's it been like coaching him?
Coaching Hassan?
Yeah.
First of all, tonight, I mean, obviously it's a team win, but he had a big impact on the game. You know, he and Nurk together complement each other. They found ways to be effective at both ends. Came up with a big block, some big rebounds. As far as coaching him this year, you know, look, the guy led the league in, before the hiatus, he's led the league in rebounding and block shots. So he's obviously had an impact, and he's been good to coach. He's been very coachable. So we're glad we have him, obviously.
The next question is coming from Dwight James with NBC Sports Northwest.
Terry, for the longest time in this game, neither team was making shots, particularly from three-point range. Can you attribute that to just like first game of the playoffs, or is that good defense, or what was the cause of that?
Probably a little bit of everything. I thought it was a very intense game. Everybody's playing hard. I thought fatigue may have played a part of it. You know, the first game of the playoffs, that's could be part of it. I don't know. It's hard to say. You know, I'll watch the film and see how many were open threes and contested threes and things like that. But just from our standpoint, I thought we were patient. I thought we got a lot of good looks on the weak side later in the game. But I thought both teams really, the Lakers did a nice job of scrambling and contesting our threes. But I don't know. It's a funny game. That happens.
Next question is coming from Jason Quick.
Coach, considering how well the Hassan-Nurkic pairing worked out for you, will you consider starting that or using more of it in Game 2?
Well, I thought Wenyen was very effective in the starting role, so I don't anticipate changing that. But you know, it was good to see that Hassan and Nurk played well together. But I thought Wenyen in the starting lineup of both halves was effective for us.
Next question is coming from Casey Holdall of Trailblazers.com.
Hi, Terry. I'm curious if you could talk about Damian's fourth quarter. It seemed like the entire game he really didn't force anything, kind of let the game come to him. But then in the fourth, it seems like, he really kind of not flipped the switch necessarily, but kind of changed it up a little bit. Just if you could talk at all about Damian's performance, particularly in the fourth.
Well, I do think he was a little more aggressive looking for a shot when it was there. Especially he hit a couple deep threes, and that usually keeps the defense pretty honest. But I think Dame does a really good job of picking his spots. But the fourth quarter, he thrives in the fourth quarter, and I think he generally takes more responsibility in the fourth quarter.
Next question is coming from Aaron Ventures with the Oregonian.
Coach, once again, the ability to hit big shots late, especially from three, Lillard, Anthony, and Trent. Just can you talk about how huge that was, and how can you guys keep pulling that off?
Well, I was really happy for both Melo and Gary Trent. Neither one of them were shooting the ball that well throughout the game, but the ball movement, the trust. Melo hit a big shot, a little deeper than he usually takes it. Gary got off this night and hit his shot, and the fact that we trusted them and they trusted their shot. So, we've won some games already down here in Orlando because of those type of plays and those shot making. So, I'm glad that's part of our game, is that trust.
Next question is coming from Jason Quick with The Athletic.
Which I remember 8 years ago when you were hired by Portland, I think it was Rick Carlisle who said that trust will be a big word that you use. Do you feel like you still kind of try to instill that in your teams, or have you established that enough throughout your time that it's just kind of goes without saying?
No, I think it's, every year is a new year. You have new players. Certainly having a nucleus of Dame and CJ obviously helps, and then you throw Nurk in there, who's been here for a little bit. There is a carryover from one team to the next, but I think it's something that has to be continually emphasized.
Next question is coming from Dwight Jennings with NBC Sports Northwest.
Just scored a lot of points and shot the ball well. Is it a real bonus for you? Is it a real plus to win a game in this big series, shooting 30 from the field?
Yeah, it is. Anytime you can win a game shooting under 40% is, that means you grinded it out or ground it out, whatever you want to say. It was a difficult type of game, whether it's regular season or playoff game, is that you had to fight through some adversity, especially when you do count on your offense. So it is good to win those type of games because they're that much more difficult to win.
Another one coming from Jason Quick with The Athletic.
Coach, can you give an example of how you get across your message of trust to the team throughout the year? Are there certain sayings you have or ways you show it, or how do you get that message across to them?
A lot of times it's reinforcing it in video sessions. I think I do like to reinforce the positive and showing what it looks like and why it's effective. I'm sure that those 2 threes that Melo and Gary hit will probably be on the edit tomorrow, because it as much as you need individual performances in this league, you need to reinforce that it's a team game.
Final question is coming from Christian Winfield with New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach, just in terms of the grand scheme of the series, how important is it to set a tone in the first game and come out and get a win, especially when you talk about the way you got it, you shot under 40%, and were able to really hold the Lakers to what they were able to score? How important was to set the tone with this win tonight?
Well, it's a long series. You don't want to get ahead of yourself. It's, when you can gain the advantage in the series, if you can win the odd number, game 1, 3, 5, and 7, it bodes well. But we all know that it's a lot can happen. So It's not like we stole home court or anything. We're all in the bubble, and we need a great effort next game.
We'll wrap it there. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
The 8-seeded Portland Trailblazers take the 1-0 lead over the top-seeded Lakers. Here's Coach Frank Vogel.
The shots that you guys were getting in the offensive flow.
Yeah, we didn't have a great offensive flow. I liked a lot of the looks that we got. Obviously, we shot a really poor percentage from the three-point line. We got to continue to focus on shot quality, but not just at the three-point line, at the rim as well. We passed up, painted great opportunities, and didn't have great shot selection inside. But I love the competitive spirit of our team, especially on the defensive end. And we knew this team was going to challenge us. So, we'll get back to work tomorrow and be ready to go.
Frank, Damian Lillard said in his walk-up interview on TNT that all of the close games they played in the seeding games got them ready for this, got them in that kind of rhythm. How do you start to try to bridge that gap now as you are in the playoffs now down 0-1?
Yeah, I mean that's what we're up against. Obviously it's a different scenario where that team's been playing basically game sevens for the last 2 weeks, and we've been trying to work guys in and playing games that don't count in the standings. So, but that's all behind us. That really doesn't mean anything right now. We have to execute and make shots down the stretch.
It was tied 89 when Dame pulled off from 36 feet, put them up 3. Then they got a 3 from Melo on the next possession, and I think LeBron might have scored. Then Trent got another 3. Can you just walk me through your guys' defense on those 3 possessions? Because it seemed to open up the game for the Blazers.
Right. Well, the big bomb that Dame hit, I have to look at the tape on that one. I know he hit a 3 off of a loose ball. We had 2 guys diving on the floor. Our competitive spirit was off the charts. We just lost that loose ball and swung to Dame, and he bombs a deep 3. That might be the one you're referring to. And then, late in the game, Dame's the guy that commands a double team. So we had the right coverage. We were just a step late, getting both to Melo and to Trent on the backside 3s.
Allie?
Tanya Ganguli?
You talk about how they've been basically playing game sevens for the past 2 weeks, and you guys are still trying to work guys in. Do you have time to figure that out as you go right now?
Of course. It's one game. We're very confident in our group still, and the time was used the right way. But there's no simulation like what they've been in, and now we're in the playoff environment. So I was pleased with our competitive spirit. We didn't make shots. You know what I mean? I think we're going to shoot the ball better than we saw tonight, and we'll continue to focus on our shooting work and our shot quality.
Kyle Goon?
Frank, LeBron's stat line has never been done in the playoffs before. Obviously losing game 1 is disappointing, I'm sure, but does that add to any disappointment that LeBron had a game like this and you guys weren't able to find a way to win?
Well, he would have had over 20 assists if we knocked down 3s at the rate that we're capable of, and at the rate that we will. So, it's certainly disappointing, to lose this game in all ways. But obviously with the performance that he had, he was spectacular, and it's disappointing to lose this game.
Joe Varden, please.
Frank, we've talked for a year, really, about all the times you coached against him in the playoffs and what that's like and what he's like. Did you notice a difference in the LeBron that you saw in all those battles with the way he approached today's game?
He's been locked in and attentive and focused all year long. So I think our whole group was obviously the focus, intensity was a little more heightened than usual, and that would apply to LeBron.
Mark Medina?
Hey Frank, the point here about quality, what's it going to take to get to what you like there so that the 3-point shots start?
Remain patient, trust the percentages, law of averages, and continue to work with our guys on identifying the right shots and remaining confident.
All right, anybody else over here? All right, good. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
We'll be back shortly with LeBron.
The top-seeded Lakers fall a game behind the Trailblazers in this first-round series. We'll hear from LeBron James as he addresses the media after the break.
Get it.
This time tomorrow, where will we be?
Day trips are better than daydreams. Experience the adventure of a bigger world in a highly capable Lexus SUV. Visit your local Lexus dealer in person or online for exceptional offers at the Golden Opportunity Sales event. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Game, and you can stay as connected as ever on the NBA app. You can feel right at home as you watch live games with new alternate streams. You can chat with friends and show off your skills by locking in your NBA pick and predictions. Sounds great, right? Any questions?
Download the NBA app today.
I think you might be muted.
Yusuf Nurkic and the Portland Trailblazers take the 1-0 series lead over the Lakers. He had 16 points and 15 rebounds. Here he is.
I know you've probably been waiting for a couple of years to get back into the postseason. How happy were you to get back into the playoffs and have the performance that you had tonight and get a win?
I mean, blessed, man. You know, I feel like the way everything for me happened last year, it's kind of similar situation. You know, we obviously in different position as far as the seeding, but you know, I got hurt before like 10 games, whatever, before the playoffs. So I think to be in position actually to be in a playoffs and playing the game, I think I'm not taking that for granted. I'm really happy how we play it. You know, obviously I think we didn't play our best, but I think I'm happy we got a win. So.
Next question is coming from Jamie Hudson with NBC Sports Northwest.
Nurk, fans were really loving the kiss to the camera that you had after your dunk. Walk me through that play when you threw down the jam and then blew that kiss.
I mean, we know it. We pretty much finished the job. So, you know, it was, I think by then 14, 15 seconds and when I dunked it. So it was, thought it was interesting play to finish the game. And, you know, obviously we didn't do anything yet. I'm happy the way, you know, we finished the game and win the game. So I think that's, I think the biggest takeout from the bubble, you know, we know how to close the games. We've been in 9 games, almost every game, in position to, you know, be down or leading 4 and win the game. So I think we really know, and experience is really, you know, grateful for now.
Next question is coming again from Eric Gunderson with the Associated Press.
Nurk, you've had the 3 go in the last couple of games. I know you've talked about your comfort with it, but how nice is it to kind of make those shots on the playoff stage?
I think it's big time. I'm pretty sure I'm capable. You know, believing in myself, I'm a confident guy. I've been working on, you know, for a couple of years. I just feel before I come to the bubble, I know I got to take those shots in the game to be more comfortable. I think that's going to open a lot of space for us, and looking forward to doing more.
We have another question coming from Jamie Hudson with NBC Sports Northwest.
Nurk, you set the tone early. What was working for you early on? And then I know you were wearing customized shoes for your grandmother. So what did this game mean to honor her?
Yeah, you know, pretty much after the night playing.
We've got to go to LeBron James live because he became the first player in playoff history to have 20-plus points, 15-plus rebounds, and 15-plus assists in a playoff game.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, great. We'll start off with you, please.
Okay. Let's start with Mike Trout.
You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Hey, LeBron, you spoke so much in seeding games about offensive rhythm and shots just not going down. Did you see anything different tonight in the way that you guys were creating shots, and if there was anything different that Portland was doing?
We had some great opportunities. We had some great looks. Just didn't knock them down. Nothing you can say about it. You know, we created a lot of great looks. Just weren't able to make them fall.
It seemed like the guys were able to hang in the game with your defense up until those final few minutes when they hit the back-to-back threes. Anything specifically defensively that LeBron on those possessions have been his?
Yeah, we had a couple breakdowns, which you can't have down the stretch, especially versus a team that's very high like Portland. And those two, you know, the two-headed monsters are the ones who kind of, you know, made the plays. You know, CJ hitting a big three, Dame hitting a couple threes as well. And then Melo hitting the three late and Gary Trent hitting a three. So they had 5 threes late in the game after we had done an exceptional job of trying to keep them off the three-point line. But, you know, they made enough plays to win the game down the stretch, and we didn't.
Hey, LeBron and Steve, I know there's going to be a lot of basketball-related questions, and I know my colleagues do a great job asking them. I just wanted to ask 2 non-game-related questions. One, you weren't on the court for the anthem and the intros. I wanted to see if there was any intention behind that. And 2, could you please talk to me about the hat that you're wearing that all of your teammates wore to the game tonight?
You want to know why I wasn't out there?
I don't need to know the specific reason.
Well, you're asking, so you want to know why I wasn't out there?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, there you go.
Talk to me about the hat, please.
You know, it's just something that we continue to put our foot on the gas, continue to pressure. You know, the situation that's going on in Louisville, Kentucky, and Kilp, and by the name of Breonna Taylor, a woman who had a bright future, and her life was taken away from her. And there's been no arrests, there's been no justice, not only for her, but for her family. You know, and we want to continue to shed light on that situation because it's just unjust. And, you know, that's what it's about.
Okay, I'm going to take a couple here. Start with Tanya Ganguly.
Sure. You know, there's so much talk about the momentum that Portland has built up over the last couple of weeks, and that you guys haven't been in the same situation, obviously. Do you feel like that's something that's hurting you guys right now? You're not going to be with them, and how long do you think? How close or how far are you from getting that?
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I can answer that question. You can play the game the right way, make the extra pass, you shoot the shots that's there, try to create 2 on the basketball. You got the numbers on the back end on 4 on 3, and defensively, you have to, you know, key in on the game plan. Can't make mistakes in the postseason. I believe we made some mistakes defensively. We played hard, but there's some mistakes that we made, especially going down the stretch. And offensively, we got some really good looks. Just got to knock them down. You know, we go 5 for 35 from the three-point line, and we missed 11 free throws in a close game up until, you know, those last couple minutes. So those are things that we can, you know, the shooting from the outside is things you can't control. You want to shoot better from the free throw line, but the mistakes is things you can control.
Joe Burton?
When you think about you in the playoffs, kind of the theater of it, you know, the flexing and pounding your chest and the destroyer and standing up on the scoreboards and then talking about man in the arena and kind of all that. Did you feel any of that tonight?
I have no idea what that question even means.
Did you feel any of the normal passion and intensity and sort of just all the things that go into playoff LeBron? Did you feel?
Like I continue to say, this is different. This is different in an aspect of just, I mean, we're in a bubble with no fans. But as far as me being locked in on the game plan, that doesn't change, not one bit. Me going out and making plays, playing at a high level to try to help our team win, that was the same. And nothing changes from that. You know, so, you know, it's the same me.
Kyle Gillen?
Yeah. All right. Specifically, that last sequence in the fourth quarter, Dame hits a 3, then Melo hits a 3, and Gary Trent, I believe, hits a 3. Did Dame's sort of initial shot near half court do you feel like had a specific momentum effect or change anything about the game?
Obviously, it was a big-time shot, but it was a breakdown. It was a breakdown defensively. He makes big shots. He takes big shots. Commend him for that. You know, and on the Melo three, it was a breakdown as well. We didn't get the rotation correct, and the same as the Gary Trent Jr. shot. We were slow on the rotation, so those are things that we can control.
Hey, LeBron, you had a historic performance tonight with 15-15 in the playoffs. First person who's done that. Can you talk about what was your mindset heading into tonight's game? And is there a sense of frustration when you have a performance like that and then the game doesn't go the way you want it to?
No, my mindset going into the game is to make plays, you know, for my team. You know, when I get the opportunity to make plays for myself, but more importantly, just, you know, keying in on the keys. Our coach staff gave us a great game plan to go out and execute it, and I just try to not make mistakes. I know mistakes happen throughout the course of the game, but I try not to combat them. If I make one, I don't want to make the same mistake the next time, the next possession, or the next quarter. So, you know, just being locked in on the game plan is what it's all about. You know, no frustration, you know, because the game is the game, and we came in with a mindset to win. We didn't take care of business, but we got another opportunity, on Thursday to even the series, and that's my only mindset. You know, I'm gonna go back to the hotel, watch film tonight, lock in with the team tomorrow, and then you know, prepare again on Thursday before the game and get ready to play.
Last question, Bill Moore.
Hey, LeBron, I actually have two here, but one, I don't know if I've ever seen you and AD both miss a pair of free throws back-to-back like that. What was just your reaction to that sequence? And the other one being, you had a week between games here in the bubble, you know, obviously with a lot of idle time, presumably, aside from practice. How did you spend that week between games getting ready for the playoffs?
Yeah, you know, definitely, you know, not normal for AD to miss 2 in a row. I've missed 2 in a row before. You know, it's happened in my career before. AD shoots the ball extremely well. Definitely, you know, wasn't expecting that, but we got to do a better job of making those. Those are easy points. Get the team in the bonus. You go to the free throw line, you knock them down. You know, so, you know, as the 2 leaders of the team, we got to go up and knock them down. What I did is absolutely nothing. There's nothing to do here besides play basketball. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, LeBron.
Thank you, LeBron.
All right, we're going to keep you on. We have,
Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers take a 1-0 lead over the Lakers behind his 34 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Here he is.
Well, that doesn't really make sense, you know, to come into a game thinking you can lose a game. I think you come into every one trying to win it. You know, the key in the playoffs is the first team to win 4 games, so I don't think it makes any sense to ever come into a game saying we can lose one. I think you always want to try to extend your lead in the series, and that's what our mentality is. We also know that it's only going to get harder from here. You know, they're a great team. They're the #1 seed in the West for a reason, so it's going to get harder. But I'm not concerned with our mentality going forward because I know my team. You know, I know who we are. I know guys' personalities, and I know their style individually. And the leaders of our team, myself, CJ, Melo, Nurk. The team is going to go as we go, you know, as far as the mentality, and I know what that is, so I'm not concerned about it at all.
Okay, last question. Casey Holden, Trailblazers.com.
Amy, you mentioned just about not having done anything yet, necessarily not having series, obviously, but how important is it to keep that kind of game 1 mindset going into the next game, or just that notion of the way you guys have been playing the entire time, and that you feel like you don't really have a whole lot of room for error, therefore like you have to play every single game like it's a must win?
I think everybody has to, because you know your season is on the line, and we should be proud that, you know, we pulled the first one out. You know, it takes a lot of work to do it, but I think you just got to move on to the next one. We didn't have some big discussion like, oh, we haven't done anything, because we have. We won a game. But we smart enough to know it's like we won the game. that's a good thing. Now we got to prepare for the next one. You know, we're not just overly trying to act like we're not proud of what we did, because we are, but we also not, you know, going to rest in it and pat ourselves on the back. You know, we're going to try to figure out the things that we didn't do well that we could do better next game, and just try to give ourselves a chance to win the next game.
Great, thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis added 28 points and 11 rebounds for the Lakers. He's sitting down to address the media now.
Hey, Anthony, what did you think about the way that Portland defended you? Did anything surprise you based on what your expectations were? And how do you think you guys did in trying to create good offensive good shots?
We playing for the double team. They didn't double team as much. You know, kind of left me one-on-one in the post. But, you know, I was just going out there being aggressive. I missed a ton of shots tonight. We all did as a team. You know, we just got to be able to take our time and knock down shots, you know, from the line and from three. So, you know, we'll be fine. You know, we continue to shoot the ball with confidence and trying to work the kinks out from the 3-point line, and then you know, we'll be fine.
As a team, you guys did struggle from three for much of the seeding games, but you were pretty efficient inside the paint. Tonight, that just didn't happen for whatever reason, as you alluded to, around 45%. What did you see at the rim? Was it something Portland was doing, or why were so many shots getting missed at the rim?
You know, they got a couple good rim protectors, you know, especially Whiteside. You know, he's always, you know, tough to score on, especially in the paint. You know, but we missed some easy ones, especially in that first half. You know, I missed a couple, you know, really easy ones. You know, we just gotta play through contact. You know, don't look for the fouls. You know, and just play through it, and you know, don't try to let the ref decide the game. I mean, you know, we were going in, you know, look for fouls early. You know, we just got to play through it and take our time and finish at the rim, regardless of a foul or not.
Anthony, it's Dave. You might have started to answer what my question is going to be with that last answer to Mike. But how do you account for the 8 for 24? Was it, you know, maybe needed to play through more contact, and overall your team shooting was another rough night? And what can you do in game 2?
Make shots for game 2, but just got to take our time at the rim. Like I say, just go strong and finish, or knowing that, you know, their rim protectors are going to, you know, come and try to block a shot, you know, dump it to the big guy or kick it out for threes. But we just got to make shots, you know, be confident in our process and our work, and when we kick it out to our shooters, you know, be comfortable and take our time and knock down shots, and that's the difference in the game.
Alex?
Kyle Goon, please.
You know, you mentioned your slow start. How much did LeBron, specifically as a playmaker, kind of get you confident in going? It seemed like he found you near the rim on drives and transition.
Yeah, you know, just setting a lot of screens for him to get downhill, you know, and I'm rolling to the basket. But we start playing with pace. You know, he's really good when we're running. The team is really good when we're running. And as long as we continue to play with a lot of pace, it's definitely tough to beat us. It's when we slow down and we're not running where we kind of get in trouble. So just trying to play with a lot of energy, and we did that, especially in that second quarter. You know, and when he got the ball and he's pushing, he's looking for guys, and it creates a lane for him to be able to attack the basket. So just got to continue to play with pace and make it tough on their defense.
Okay, Brian?
Another coach got asked this today, does it feel like the playoffs? And with the whole scenario here, where you guys are in this situation, I mean, does today feel different than last Tuesday or than any other day down here?
No, I mean, they all feel the same. Obviously, we know it's the playoffs, but as far as the atmosphere, I don't think anything really changed.
Did that affect at all what happened today? Were there moments where you said we need a crowd?
No, I mean, you know, to lose the game where it was on us, self-inflicted. Like I said, it's a little different, especially in the playoffs when you're on the run or you know, anything like that. You kind of get that home crowd into it, and they kind of get you going. Put a little pressure on the opposing team, but we know coming in that it's not going to be that. We only have our bench, so our bench is trying to make up for the crowd.
Tanisha, I have one more here, and then I'll toss it to you. Joe Varden.
Anthony, what did you think of Laker offense in the last couple of minutes, as far as where the ball was, what shots you were looking for, what shots you got?
I think it was pretty good. I mean, we got some open looks, that we missed. Looks at the rim that we missed. Got to the line. I missed 2. Bron missed 2. We missed a ton of free throws tonight. I think 11. So I think our offense is pretty good. Besides the poor shooting from the 3 and from the line, but we see where we can be, especially in that second quarter. When we're running and playing fast. That's how we want to play for all 4. And I just think, we can't let our missed shots affect what we do, especially on the defensive end, or, make us hesitate and not take, open shots still. So, but I think our offense is pretty good, but, we can definitely be better for sure.
Hey, D, maybe not in game 1, but do you think down the line in this series, your guys' relative rest and conversely, the intensity that they had to play for so long is going to end up benefiting you guys in the series?
We don't know. Obviously we want to continue to play fast, just knowing they're playing a lot of minutes, but, we try to just play fast and play how we play. We know that they've been playing a lot of games, and every game here in the bubble has been a game 7 for them. So, we just try to continue to play with a lot of pace, a lot of energy, and put a lot of pressure on them. How we did in the second quarter, but we got to do it for the entire 48.
Last question, Dan
Anthony, Portland had one of the worst defenses, I think second worst of anybody inside the bubble. How frustrating is it for you guys to have that kind of an offensive performance against them? And were they better than you thought, or is this more, again, about just kind of you guys and what you're going through on offense?
No, they're a good team. They're here for a reason. It's not no surprise that they're here. For us, it's just about making shots. We're getting all the looks that we want. We just got to take our time and knock them down. Our shooters got to continue to shoot. We got to shoot better from the line as a team. And when we get in the paint, instead of looking for a foul, play through the contact and finish around the rim. So, we got everything we wanted on the offensive end. Just a matter of making shots.
Thanks, AD.
Yep.
Thanks, AD.
Thanks, Valley.
Thanks, Faith.
CJ McCollum added 21-5 for the Blazers in the win. Here he is after the game.
Terry uses the word trust a lot with you guys. And can you maybe explain how he instills that in you guys and how that comes into play in games like tonight?
I think the biggest thing for us is just the relationships that we have. The trust comes from what we've gone through individually, what we've gone through collectively, and how we hang out off the court. So it's easier to trust people that you enjoy being around. So then, making an extra pass or understanding that Gary's going to hit a big shot down the stretch, even though he hit the side of the backboard, understanding that I'm going to go and make the extra pass or step up and take the shot, or Dame's going to take the shot down the stretch. And it's just the trust and understanding that, we hold each other accountable, but we also empower each other.
Christian Winfield.
Hey CJ, can you just talk about Hassan Whiteside's impact on the game tonight, and just what he brings to the floor when he's out there? Like anything that went up around the rim when he was out there was getting swatted away.
Yeah, when he plays like that, we're very, very hard to beat. He was aggressive, protected the rim, he rebounded, finished around the basket. He showed what he's done for us all season. Lead the league in blocks, still getting 12, 13 rebounds a night and finishing. So we're going to continue to need that from him, and if he plays like that, we're going to be very hard to beat.
AC Holdahl, Trailblazers.com.
Hello, CJ. How important is it for you guys to keep that same mentality about not having necessarily accomplished anything yet? I know some guys had mentioned walking off the court that there was no cause for celebration. How important, particularly for a team in your guys' situation, is that mentality not to celebrate anything necessarily until it's achieved?
It's first to 4. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of things we can tighten up on. We defended extremely well, but we still gave up some easy baskets. We put guys on the free throw line a lot. So there's some things we can tighten up. We only shot 38% from the field. I didn't shoot particularly well. I had 5 turnovers. I got to do a better job. I had 0 assists. So there's a lot of things we can improve upon collectively and take that into the game too.
Last question. Oh, I'm sorry. Dan Wilkie, Los Angeles Times.
Hey, CJ. 2 questions. Defensively, you guys, that's not usually how you guys win games. What was different tonight to really lock down the Lakers? And then secondly, we haven't seen a lot of like on-court dancing ever from Damian. I don't know, did you catch him dancing to Too Short during the game? What do you think of that?
The first question you asked about our defense. It's the playoffs. The games have changed. The situation has changed. You focus on one opponent. You get to understand tendencies. You get to understand play calls better. We're not playing, a different opponent every other day. It's just focusing on one. So both teams are more locked in, more focused, and understand, how they're going to achieve stops and get a win. Secondly, Dame is very comfortable, especially when he's there in East Oakland music. So I'm not surprised he was dancing. I didn't see it. I wasn't paying attention, but that's him. He can dance all he wants if he's going to shoot from half court and score 30 in there.
Jason Wick, The Athletic.
CJ, can you maybe talk about the evolution of Hassan's season, and in particular how he's handled, kind of having his role reduced here in Orlando? What you've seen from him?
He's been very mature about it, especially understanding that he can still impact games. Obviously, he's not playing the same minutes. He's not starting, but he's a crucial piece to our organization and our team. The better he plays, the better we are. And he's starting to understand it, and I think he showed, not only in this game, but in previous games, the type of impact he can have on both ends.
Thank you, CJ.
Playoff Central Live continues on NBA TV after the break with Kyle Kuzma taking the podium. We'll be right back.
Hey, yo, welcome to the new Chris Paul workout show. If you want to make it to the NBA, you got to have a killer crossover. TNCP crossover. Oh, Jake from State Farm.
Here's the deal. There's no replacing the real Chris Paul, just like there's no replacing State Farm.
Man, what happened? Who are you? I'm the new Chris Paul.
Man. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Sports fans are gearing up at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Holy mother of thin. Look what we did. We made it thin. How is this possible, you ask? It's not, but we done it anyway. Reese's Thins. Not sorry.
We asked college kids if they would get up early for a Burger King croissant.
No, it's too early.
I didn't even know Burger King had breakfast.
This is good.
This is better than what I usually eat.
Definitely worth waking up for.
The BK croissant. Get 2 for $4, or mix and match it with a biscuit sandwich. Your way, way better.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. For Eduardo Perez, it drove him to thrive in his search for a better life. Immigrating from Guatemala at 18, he found work as a dishwasher, a line cook, sous chef, and eventually fought to the top of one of the most challenging professions in the world, proving that there is no challenge that can hold back a fighting spirit. Since 1925, we've proved that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters what you're made of. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
Playoff basketball is finally here.
This guy's as scrappy as hell.
LeVert takes some contact, count it, and one.
Lowry is the heart and soul of this Raptors organization.
This is playoff basketball.
Nets Raptors Game 2 tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
With less than 7 minutes to go in the game, the Lakers held an 87-81 lead. The Blazers then went on a 19-6 run. You can see the numbers here. In our final player press conference, Kyle Kuzma scored 14 and grabbed 8 rebounds for the Lakers off the bench. Let's hear from him.
We just didn't hit shots. We're plain and simple. We had a lot of wide open looks that we just didn't complete. And that's kind of the story. I think we did a great job defensively. A few little mess ups, but not bad for the first game.
Kyle, you mentioned the open looks. The team shot 15.6% from three-point range. Is there a way to turn that around in time for Game 2? It's another issue that's kind of been plaguing you guys really since you got to Orlando.
Yeah, I think so. We got shooters. It's just all about really confidence. I think that coming out the gate, first playoff game, a lot of jitters. Just from the team, not so necessarily the jitters, but just the anxiety and that rush to play. So, if we could just calm down, take our time, because the shots are going to be there all series. They want to crowd the paint, and we got to hit shots.
The good news for you guys, all these games in the first round are every other day. They're really tightly packed. Do you see enough tonight to say, hey, here's what we can do to attack Portland and to beat them in Game 2 on Thursday?
Yeah, for sure. We just got to know what we did wrong, what we can execute on better, and then just erase the game. Like you said, every game is every other day. So for us, if we're able to just continue to just play with spirit. That's the biggest thing. Just play with spirit.
Let's take a look at this series schedule with Game 2 Thursday at 8 Eastern on ESPN, followed by Game 3 this weekend on ABC, Saturday at 8:30. Caron, apart from the simplicity of make more shots, what do you need to see from the Lakers to turn this series around in Game 2?
I mean, as collectives, we have to understand that it's a glaring notice of not having Avery Bradley there in the bubble with them. So from a perimeter standpoint, you need someone to challenge Dame on the defensive end of the floor, to challenge CJ as well. And KCP is usually that guy, but it doesn't happen for him unless he has shots going and things like that. And tonight, in the 29, 30 minutes that he had played, he was not productive on the offensive end of the floor. So you're going to need him to step up in a major way. You're going to need more out of Danny Green. And let's face it, the Lakers were dominant in the post area. You're going to need LeBron to close out games, knocking down the foul shots. You're going to need Anthony Davis to be in tune and present in that moment to knock down those shots as well. But defensively, if they can collectively try to slow down Dame in that backcourt, they have a realistic shot at winning the next game.
And we'll be with you the whole way. Caron, I'm a little bit jealous that you wake up and basketball's already on in your time zone. So